Hello everyone, it's Ginger here and we're back with one of my two sketchbooks. So this is my Royal Talons one, and we're just doing a bit of creative exploration on landscapes. I've got a variety of different media, so this will be a mixed media piece. I've got some pencils, oil pastels, gouache, soft pastels, I've got charcoal and various other bits and pieces kind of floating around to make something kind of almost slightly whimsical and maybe slightly illustrative, but I'm just here to have some fun basically. I have taken a beautiful photo of a kind of swampy barrier island in South Carolina, in a place called Edisto, I think, and it is a reference photo by a Joe Rains. There are a number of really good Facebook groups for free reference photos for artists that you can join, and this one just caught my eye because I just was really curious and interested in the kind of colour. So the first thing I want to do is lay out big shapes, and the first really obvious big shape is the sky. So I'm gonna grab some blue from my gouache palette. So I've just got my travel palette here to the side. Ta-da. And I'm gonna grab some blue. I'm probably gonna add a little white to it because it's a very vibrant blue. Well, it's not a vibrant blue. It's kind of hard to describe. It's a very saturated blue. And that's all good and well, but that's not what I want. Okay, right. Now I've got some blue. A relatively smallish brush. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to that. Okay, so we got quite a large chunk of blue sky, so we're going to start with that. Just going to go, right, how far down do I want it? It's not 2/3, but it's definitely over half. So I'll come down that far. As it comes along, you kind of then start to get this tree line from the actual island itself. Apart from my phone, which is obviously clearly wanting to join in. So, yeah, like that. Remember, this is a sketch, so, well, painting sketch is a sketch a painting, and I suppose most people, when they refer to sketching, they usually mean with like pencils, but this painting is a sketch as well. So I never make enough of a colour, and then I end up with two versions of the same colour, which is always a problem. But it's not really a problem in my mind when you think about it. It's still too dark. Let's make that a little lighter. That's better. Now this is gouache, so it's not an acrylic gouache. This is my Arteza ones, and therefore when it dries it's not waterproof, so it will pick up stuff that's underneath, so you have to be a bit mindful of that. I know it's a reason why a lot of kind of illustration artists are starting to use the acrylic version of this, because actually it's useful for layering without having to worry about lifting the layer underneath. And of course, when you start to lift the layer underneath, it mixes with what you're doing, so that's not really something you want when you're painting multiple layers over the top of each other. I mean, the really nice thing about gouache is obviously it is a nice flat medium, which I really like. I like having something flat, and I know obviously you get that with pastels, so So that's fine. Kind of stick with things that are similar. Just going over this with some water, just to kind of even a few bits and pieces out. I don't want to do too much because this is a sketchbook and it won't take a lot of wet medium. It takes some, it is mixed media, but well, that's watercolor actually, I think, because it's pretty thick paper, but still has a limit as to what you can do with it. Okay, so we have a kind of sky down. That's fine. Next thing I want to do is the far distant tree line, which is a blue-green. And the cat's joined me as well. That didn't take long, did it? I wondered how long it'll be before she was going to join me. So I want a blue-green, but I do want to peel it out. I've got some of this. Just because it's distant, I want it kind of slightly more neutral. And that goes along. This might be a bit pale for what I'm doing. And I wanted it pale, and I just didn't think I meant that pale. It kind of stops here where the tree line comes in. I do want to give it a bit more. It's not a straight line, although it does feel like it. Like that. Okay. Now we've got lots of different trees in this foreground, and they're all lots of different colours. So I'm just going to make up a green, and then work from there. You're wondering what the noise is, it's the palette rattling as I'm using it. Right, so this is a bit more of a vibrant green, so it's a mix of blue-green and my yellow-green. And it basically, oh yeah, that is quite green, isn't it? Probably wanted it a bit less than that, but never mind. Right, so this comes down slightly. And then it's in kind of lines, so you've got this bit, which is our first one. And then as that comes along, it kind of kicks out again here. So this is our second kind of tree line here. And then we meet the edge of a page, which is always useful. Now this one doesn't really, it doesn't cut back like the first one, but it does subtly shift and come forward. So we're just gonna do that and bring that tree line forward. I'm gonna come up here like that. Is it higher? It needs to be higher than that one, like that. That's better. Now remember, we're just doing shapes for the minute anyway. We will be adding, I'm not going to say loads of definition, because we're not going to be adding loads of definition, but what we will be doing is we will be just giving it all a little bit more shape, a little bit more form, giving it some pattern, just giving it a bit of life but fun at the same time. Right, so there's our forward tree line. Aren't we lucky? Right. Now this is where it gets interesting, because we've got two lots of stuff going on in the foreground. We've got water and we've got reeds and grasses. So I think what I will probably do first is I'll probably do the reeds and grasses first, which means I need to add some yellow in to this green. Now it's got a lot of green underneath and then yellow, really yellow on top. So what I want to do is make a nice yellow green for the underneath and put that down first. And then we've got pencils and things that we can use to create what we need. Okay, right. So we've got a line of these reeds up here, right at the top. I'm not very good at straight lines, am I? And that comes in to here as well. In fact, actually, we're going to bring this down a wee bit, because we've got a bit of space that I want to fill. I want to make sure it comes down far enough, because actually it comes down quite far past the edge of this, but that's because it curves here. So it kind of curves out, and then there's like this little section here. There's a little section here we want to put this in. And tidy these sections up, and then this kind of curves back round like that. And as it comes around, it kind of widens slightly. I'm going to widen this to that. I love this colour though, really nice. And then it kind of shortens again as it cuts in. And then it kind of comes back out. So it kind of cuts in like that, and then it comes out there. And there. Please ignore the noise in the background. We gave the cats some fake paper, crepe paper grass for Christmas, and it has probably been the cheapest and biggest hit we've ever had. They absolutely love it, and it's even better if you throw Dreamies into it. And then they have to dig around trying to find the Dreamies, and that has been an absolute hoot. Okay, right. Right, so that's the reeds. So I'm just going to clean the palette before I do the water, because I need the water to be similar to the sky, but not, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's see. So we want our blue, clear blue. Maybe add some green to it. I think that might be prudent. I also want it darker than the sky, if that makes sense. Ooh, I've just created this gorgeous colour, like a teal colour. Let's do that. Look at that. Now, there's a few things that we haven't done yet, because there is this kind of boat jetty mooring house thing, but that's kind of the smaller details that I want to put in once we've got our block colours in. The only problem with me doing this is that my eyesight isn't particularly good, and in the light I can't really see very well, which is quite irritating. Oh, I like that colour. Yeah, I know I took it down here, but I don't actually want to go all the way to the bottom of the page. Right, there is our, unbelievably, our block colours, right? So there is a kind of map of what we're looking at. Now we're going to start adding in our next layer of details. So this is going to be still paint, but it's going to be kind of like the next biggest sections of colour. And the first thing I want to do is I want to get some of these clouds in. I like clouds, so I want to get some clouds in, because there is clouds in this, obviously. So I don't want, not looking for anything complicated, just some kind of cloud shapes to say. And it will dry, I'm not sure about lighter, but less translucent, I suppose. And this isn't a pure white as well, this is a kind of muted blue, because I didn't really want white. So just kind of looking at where the clouds are actually in the photo, and kind of just creating some shapes to go with that. Along with this very irritating page edge that we've got. These kind of little ones, this little one here, which is a bit more white, it's just brighter, so that's what we're going to do. It's got another one kind of just underneath it, like that. Okay. Now, I've got the white here. Do I want to paint in this little boathouse thing? Because it is on the water, but it's right here. I'm just conscious, because I'm using a paintbrush and not a particularly small one, that getting this sort of detail is going to be complicated. Which isn't really a surprise when you're working something that small, but never mind. It just adds to the fun, doesn't it? Trying to make things, small things, with a big paintbrush. And it's got kind of like it has a boat as well, but I'm gonna leave the boat, I think, for now. Right. Do I want to add in the rest of the clouds? I feel like I need to, because it's all very up here rather than down. So we'll just, these will be quite translucent because I added quite a lot of water. Like a weird line, which is quite weird. So I might break that up slightly. Like that. Yeah? Should we say that we like that? I'm just gonna add some kind of rounded shapes, slightly whiter, to this. Just felt like I needed the highlights to come across a bit more. Yeah, okay. Right, so we're going to go back to our trees just to give some colour. So the first thing I want to do is kind of make this back one. We're not looking at, that's just really unhelpful, isn't it? I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't like that colour. We need some more green. There we go, right. So the back one here is a lot darker. So we're just going to give it some kind of darker humps. It's just about shapes. We're not looking, just going, right, there's quite a lot of trees, but we're not really, I'm not painting trees. I cannot be bothered with that. So there's that one. And then if we add some of the yellow green, we can get a slightly darker colour here for this one. So yeah, we're gonna create that dark all the way down actually. Conscious that I don't want to pick up too much. Really just looking to create some interesting shapes that are not trees but are trees. They're just round blobs, but there's a difference in colour which basically allows us to go, ooh, so there is different shapes going on. And then that will give us kind of a bit more like, oh, you know, that's probably trees. I mean, there is some logic somewhere in my head for this, but I don't know. I don't know whether everybody can follow my logic on that one. Gorgeous round green kind of blob of a tree here, which is gorgeous. So we'll just plop that in there. And a kind of weird bush line in front of it, which we'll just bring in. Remember, this doesn't have to be perfect. You know, I like the kind of slightly splodginess that we've got going on. It's nice to have the kind of difference of the kind of marks where I've been painting, and only because that actually provides texture, which is kind of what you want. So I've just added a little bit of orange to this green. Everyone will be like, orange? You added orange? Yes, I added orange to a green, because if you add orange to a green, you get brown. And I don't want brown, but I do want a greeny brown for this tree section here. So yeah, now we've got lots of different shapes and colours in this tree line, which is now going to make this look more like a tree line rather than just a large blob shape. A blob shape. We like blob shapes. Okay, right, and wipe down this. Wipe down the palette so that it dries. And put the lid back on. Come here. There we go. And that's the travel palette gone, and the paintbrush out the way. Right, now, things I have. I have oil pastels and pencils and pastels and various things like that. So what I want to do is, this is drying really quickly. It's gosh, of course it's going to dry really quickly. What do I want to start with? I think I want to start with the grass actually, and I don't really have any thing. Let's maybe use the oil pastels because it's quite a lot. I've got quite a few different yellows going on there. Because you've got some gold yellows like this, which are really pretty. Of course, being Pentel, I'm not sure you'll even actually see these. But that's fine. I know they're there. I'm going to put some of this down, and then I might actually grab a pastel pencil because that will also give me so I'm not doing like I'd be here forever if I did loads of grass. I'm just representing the grass to show that it's not that there's a pattern there. So you can't really see it very well with the oil pastel over the top, which is a little annoying. They are cheap though, to be fair, so that might have something to do with it. So it's mostly around the edges to show that it's grass. And also where it goes into the water as well, because you can see there's like little sections that kind of stick out. Like that. Oh, I like that. I do like that. I've got two whites here. Do I want white? Do I want grey? I want something to kind of represent the water. Or at least the reflections in the water. So I'm just doing little circles with that. This might be better in the sky actually. So let's kind of accenting some of these clouds and then adding in additional clouds around them like that, which I quite like actually. That's yeah, I like that. Right, had enough of those. What have I got going on over here? What was the cheap Deco Time pencils, which I've not really used for much. So let's see. This should be, yeah, that's almost dry enough. There's still some wet patches there, but most of this is dry enough to now actually do. So I need some light colours and dark colours going on here, I think, because this is quite a light colour, but that should give me like that. So you see that's a tree, because there's a tree there. Then we've got some bush, but I probably want to do a different colour for that. We've got this kind of more vibrant green. Like that. And what else? We've got dark green here. It's almost black, but actually yeah, that's a good colour. I've also got black and grey here. While I'm here with that, this is the dark grey. I want to see if I can kind of pencil in. I know it's kind of further down than that, and that's going to be a problem, but we're just going to go straight across to there. So you've got a double line. And what we're going to do is a post, I think. Like that. And then we've got these little legs that come down. As it embeds this walkway into the marsh, kind of marshy land. And actually it's got a secondary one, kind of line across there. And then it's got a little bit that comes there. And then lines that kind of come down with all of these. So we're just going to take them straight up. Like that. Also got a line along here. It's got some other lines as well, like a little line there. It's got a little line. I don't know what that is, but it's got a line there like that. Okay, that's looking a little better. It's a really light grey, isn't it, this one? Yeah, too light. What I might want to do is I'm going to grab some of my pastel pencils, because that's going to give me some really bright white, which I quite like to do some colours on the bottom there. Where are they? There. Right, I've grabbed pencils. Hopefully you guys are all still with me. Hopefully this hasn't wandered off shot, because it tends to do that. I got a nice, yeah, I got a nice grey. Actually, let's see if I can. I'm just going to sharpen it as well. So these are the Carbofello ones. This one, so it's a bit softer. I think I need to empty the pot. It's just quite a soft pencil. So got some. Oh yeah, there we go. Little lines like that. Just to show the water. I'm just squiggling basically. I'm not really thinking about the what and the where. I'm just looking at kind of where would be good in relation to where I've put something else, because you don't want it looking too busy, if you know what I mean, but you do want it to have some interesting shapes and textures. Like that. Okay, right. So that's some texture in the water. Back to our fun grasses. Trying to see what sort of colours I've got that might be good. I've got quite a pale yellow. I don't really use it very often. That'll do. So this is one of the Faber-Castells. So you can see it's slightly better. Not by much though. I suppose you don't really need to see it much. It's just providing the additional texture. So hopefully you guys can see some of it. Yeah, right, I'll just keep going with this. I'm just adding the grass to where we've put the oil pastel. Just conscious of, I don't want to go too far in the background. Okay, yeah. Now the question is, do I want to add in a darker yellowy colour? I think I want to. I'm conscious that I'm trying to keep this simple and therefore I don't want loads of colour. You know, and I think I just, oh no, I didn't. I thought it snapped, but no, that's fine. Oh yeah, no, I like that. Just little clumps of the kind of slightly more orangey colour, just here and there. Pages go for a wander. This is probably going to take a little bit more time than I planned this video, but I snapped the lid there. But actually, I'm just enjoying the freedom and the fun of just playing with quite vibrant colours, really, when you think about it, and just having fun with this landscape. yeah, just popping little bits of it here and there. It just adds that little pop of colour and contrast, which kind of just sets it off, and it's such a lovely colour anyway. But then if you know me and you've seen enough of my videos, you will know that this type of colour is a particular favourite of mine. Anyway, so right, enough of that colour because I'm getting distracted. Where am I going? I need, yeah, so this is one of my dark greens. I just consider that I've got this bush here. I just do that. I also want quite a dark one here, so you can't always see the marks I'm making, but that's fine. Kind of the point. And I believe I got a lighter green. I do have a lighter green. This is this one's a doe, and I'm not sure if it's going to sharpen because it's quite a soft pastel pencil. How are we doing? Oh, I think we'll take it. We'll take what we've got there. What do I want to do? So I've got quite long straight branches, so yeah, no, that works. And then we've got, this is just a little, it's like a giant bush and then a tree kind of embedded in the middle of it. So we'll do the bush first, and then I want to do that dark colour. There it is. And then I'll do a nice dark colour here. What's the sort of pattern I want to do? I've got this one here which I want to do with the light colour. It's quite far in the distance, so I don't want to. Just want to give it some shapes, but nothing committed to anything. You're not a tree, you're not a bush, you're just a green blob, like that. Okay, so things that are annoying me so far. This stupid little thing is annoying me. I know why, but that's not the point. I think something to do with the way the gouache kind of took to the page just is annoying me. And then we got a little line there. Is there anything else I really want to do? It's always kind of fun when you kind of step back and look at it and go, right, what do I want to do? That's annoying me because it's not light enough. I want to use kind of dark grey, kind of browny grey. Oh, that's a bit better, yeah. I like that better. Now, you know what? Actually, I'm not sure I really want to do anything more to that. I don't have any animals, I don't have any people, but I've got the shapes, I've got the important key elements, which is this tree line, which I think is the island, the tree line in the distance, the kind of marshy grasses, the marsh water, and this weird boat tie-up, boathouse point thing. So yeah, no, do you know what? I'm going to leave that where it is. I'm really happy with that. I think that's come out really well. I think you guys, if you ever get an opportunity to do something like this, definitely have a go. It just takes a step back from the amount of detail that you would do in a landscape and give you the ability just to have a bit of fun and a bit of a play and just create something which is quite charming, really. Yeah, I quite like how that's kind of come out in such a really kind of charming way. So there it is. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I will see you all soon for another video.